Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. I'm joined as always by Wings head coach and general manager Scott Langer. Scott, thanks for taking some time to be with us today. So quick recap, dropped 2 at the Odde against Austin over the weekend. Friday night, 3-1 loss. Saturday, it was 0-1 loss as well. Just a quick recap of Friday. No scoring in the first. Xander Lipset put the Bruins up 1-0 in the second with his 5th goal of the season. And then just 35 seconds into the third, Austin able to take a 2-0 lead on a Connor Beckwith's 9th goal of the season. Jibbercool getting a late goal for the Wings, his 6th of the season, late in the third to make things interesting. Alex Lorenza ends up putting the empty netter in to kind of seal the deal Friday. Power play 0 for 5 for the Wings, 1 for 3. Obviously a big goal for for Austin. Come away with that. Took fewer penalties than the weekend before in Austin. Kind of what were your thoughts as Friday's game progressed?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a really good game up until the point that we had made that mistake on their second goal. That was kind of a deflating goal to give up on potential icing that ended up going off the wall and obviously onto their sticks. So, but I do see, we do put the pressure back on them, and we during the course of the game we had 18 grade A chances in that game, and it's been week after week of not really being able to put the puck in the net. So I mean, they're able to win with basically 2 goals on one night and 1 goal on another night. That's not going to really get what's done if you're not putting pucks in the back of the net.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the chances were there, shots on goal, 35 for the Wings. Austin had 23, Jack Solomon stopping 34 of the 35 in his return to the Bruins, coming back from Sioux Falls, and Cunningham stopping 20 of the 22 that he faced, and then obviously that empty netter. Saturday, again, offensive struggles, I'd say, for both teams. Once again, no scoring in the first. Austin gets a shorthanded goal in the second from Nuke Malkison, who has been on fire against the Wings over the last 2 weeks. And that'd be it as far as offense goes. 21 shots on goal for the Wings. Austin with 23. That's, I believe, the first time this season that they've outshot us going into that. Neither team had a power play goal on Saturday night. Kind of overall thoughts again on the play Saturday and how everything transpired.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd like to have that one back, especially when you're on a power play, late in the power play, and they end up getting a shorthanded goal on you. That's really hard to swallow in that type of game, because defensively we were really good for pretty much that entire game. I mean, we didn't give a heck of a lot up. We had 21 grade A chances for. That was a hard one. I mean, that was a game between 2 good hockey teams that just don't give a whole lot up, and it took one mistake for one team to take the lead, and again we struggled to find a way. I mean, we had 2 crossbars and 2 posts, and sure would like to have those back.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, 2 evenly matched teams. Austin, obviously, with the weekend sweep, taking a little bit of an advantage in the season series. Wings are 2-4 and 0-0 against the Bruins on this season. Do still have 2 more games coming up against them in Austin in March, so something to look forward to there. It kind of brings to the next point of looking back, kind of through the progression of a season, and less about the physical. We know the wear and tear and the illnesses that are going around and everything else that you have to deal with throughout the course of the season. But I wanted to ask a little bit about the mental side of things. This is 5 months into it now. Players have been in Aberdeen. Obviously, some come and go. But we played a total of 38 games so far, and we've got 21 to go. So a little bit over the halfway point. Mentally, what is kind of the mindset of the players at this point of the season? Are they just mentally drained, or what's going through their mind?
No, I think it's actually the opposite, which is, it inspires you a little bit, because, even though we haven't had good fortune now putting pucks in the net in our last 6 to 8 games, they still believe. But, what happens is you start gripping your stick a little tighter, and everything becomes a little harder mentally, when you're not having success and putting points. We have guys in this room that are fully capable of putting pucks in the net, and because those guys are kind of struggling right now, we're a struggling hockey team. So, but it all comes down to mental. It's not physical, because you get them in practice and they're scoring at will. it's just so when we're getting in those 5-on-5 situations, or even when we're up on the power play, I mean, you look at the amount of chances we generated off our power play and couldn't get one to go to the back of the net either night. So, it's going to turn around. It's just a matter of, when it does. And, hopefully it starts this weekend.
Is there anything you do, or is there anything they say to each other to try to, I mean, I'd say last Friday night, obviously one of the first games I've been able to sit and watch doing the game in Austin. But it seemed like after that first goal, everybody was playing loose, everybody was playing relaxed. It was not a gripping the stick tight. Saturday night, I'd say Austin kind of flipped the tables and played like that themselves. And then this past weekend, of course, too. But is there something you can do throughout the week just to get people to relax, or is they're just putting too much pressure on themselves, or how does that?
Well, I mean, like we tried to, like today we did some split practice with guys, and we just worked on some goal scoring and stuff like that, just so they can kind of get, just try to get some success going, because I think when you practice, it translates to the game. So you have to practice the right way. And, it's just hard. You have to keep reaffirming to these guys that, they are a good player. They can get it done. It's just a matter of time before it opens up. And, you look at that play on Friday night, or on Saturday night, that pass to the back door to Moxham that went off the post. I mean, that's how close we were to being up 1-0. And like you said, when you do have a lead, your team definitely plays a little different. They do play a little more open. But yeah, and then we give up that shorty goal, and then everybody tightens back up. So, from my point of view, it's just you just got to keep tapping them on the back and saying, you just got to stay after it. You got to stay after it, because eventually they're going to reward you.
Yeah, for sure. And so you can hopefully get rewarded. This weekend's games coming up. We're still here at the Odde, completing the homestand. Bismarck coming in Friday and Saturday. Bismarck's coming off a weekend home sweep of North Iowa. They won 3-1 Friday and a 3-2 shootout win on Saturday. They've kind of been up and down. They started really hot in the season, jumping out there to the league best, and since then been, I don't want to say slipping a few, but teams have been playing up to them and able to get a few points from them. What's it going to take this weekend with Bismarck coming in to kind of get back into the points category?
Well, I think it's got to start with the work ethic, because that's one thing we've been able to say is that we have been working pretty hard within our games. We are at the point now where we are out chancing teams, especially teams, the better teams within our division. So, it's not like we're on our heels having to defend the whole game, like we were early in the year. Now it's quite the opposite. We're leading possession time in each of these games. It's just a matter of we need a couple to fall, and it doesn't have to be pretty. They can be ugly, whether it's off a body, or it doesn't matter how it goes in. We just need it. We need it to start going in. I mean, and when you're a coach, and it's hard to tell a player to score a goal. It's a hard part of the game. Scoring's hard, especially in this division where there's limited space and there's good quality players. But once that one starts falling, I think hopefully it's not too late, but things will open up.
And you kind of saw that again 2 weeks ago on Friday night, getting 5 goals. But crashing the net I think is big. Kind of like the way Gibber took the puck to the net Friday night and just kind of forced the situation. So hopefully that's the case and get things turned around. Quick look at the standings. Right now, Bismarck still on top of the Central Division, 64 points. Minot in second, kind of closing that gap at 59 points. Austin's right on their heels at 58 points. Those two flip-flopped last weekend after we got the win on Friday night. Aberdeen in fourth right now with 43 points, with St. Cloud right on their heels, 42 points. And then North Iowa 33, and the Mallards at 23, and Watertown at 21. So as every year, a very tight Central Division, still open for a lot of movement to be going on over the next 21 games. But like I said, hopefully that turns around and we get back on the winning track this coming weekend against the Bismarck Bobcats. Tickets available at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or any of the Sea Express locations here in Aberdeen. So I just want to thank Scott for taking some time talking to us.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Ryan will be back with Charlie Burchfield.
Pro Ag Supply leads the game with channel seed, liquid fertilizer, and tanks. With 3 generations of family service, we've spent over 40 years growing relationships with your family. So whether it's game day or planting day, Pro Ag Supply and Channel Seed are by your side. Pro Ag Supply.
L&O Transport and Farm wants you. They're currently hiring Class A CDL truck drivers and farm operators. Experience preferred, but not necessary. L&O offers great benefits like a 401k, 100% health, and year-end bonuses. Pay depends on experience, but wages are very competitive. They run the newest late model equipment and take pride in what they do. L&O Acres and Transport is a family-run business. Come be part of the L&O family. Give them a call at 605-226-0733.
All right, welcome to the second portion of Wings Weekly. Joining me here is Charlie Burchfield. Charlie, you're from Brighton, Michigan, right? So tell us a little bit about your hometown.
So my hometown's, it's kind of just like, it's just a little town, but it's a pretty big town actually. We had like 2,000 kids in our high school. Really fun town, lots of stuff to do there. Yeah, pretty, just your average town, I guess.
And is it similar to, like, kind of explain it to our Aberdeen community here, is it similar to Aberdeen or is it a little bit different?
Weather-wise, yeah, very similar. It's kind of like the 70 degrees one day, and next day, you know, it's snowing outside, but yeah, I mean, there's kind of like everything there. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's just like your average town. Like, it's just, yeah.
And tell us too, how did you first get into hockey?
I first got into hockey when I was about 6 years old. My dad kind of just threw me out on the ice and said, all right, you're going to go outside and skate. And I kind of just fell in love with it. And then ever since then, I haven't stopped playing, so.
And tell us a little bit about your family too. Do you have any siblings back home?
Yeah, so I have two sisters. One's in college at Merrimack playing college lacrosse, and then I have a little sister. Her name's Maggie. She's a junior in high school, and she also plays lacrosse and swim.
So very, very athletic family back home. Awesome. So having a player on the show, like I was telling you before we started recording, is all about getting to know them, but also kind of puts them on the hot seat. So we kind of have to address the elephant in the room. Have you always been a fighter on the ice?
Honestly, no, I haven't. Like in high school, like you can't fight. So my first fight was actually in main camp against Jack Demora. Shout out Jack Demora. And I fought him because, you know, I was just trying to make the team when I was playing for Northeast Generals, and I ended up making the team. And then I had a second fight in Rochester, and then my third fight was just like 2 weekends ago. So, you know, I haven't really always been a fighter, but I've been an aggressive player. Like, that's always been my play style, is like working hard, getting the dirty areas. But yeah, just fighting's kind of been this year, I guess. So.
And you definitely held your own too. I mean, when Aaron was calling the game, he definitely was explaining, like, the person that you were up against was obviously a little bit bigger than you, but you knew how to hold your own. But you've explained too that you want to play hockey. That's not, it's not necessarily your style to throw hands, so to speak, but you know how to hold your own too, and you're gonna go to bat for anyone who doesn't want to do so to speak.
Obviously, like, I want to play hockey. Like, that's what everyone's here to do. At the end of the day, everybody's trying to move on to the next level. But I mean, if something happens, like, I'll be the first to stick up for any guy in this room, and probably do it for anybody here. So, you know, I love that I do that, and I know the boys love it too. So, you know, I try to just, I don't know, defend some of the boys if they need it. So.
And what a great way to get the bench going too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We were going back through and kind of watching it, and you could hear Finn, who was scratched that night, going like, "Yeah, Birch."
That was a beauty.
Before coming to play for the Wings, was there anything that you had heard about the organization? I know it was a pretty quick turnaround, you know, going through trade and all of that kind of stuff, but was there anything that you had heard about the organization as a whole that kind of made you excited about coming to play here?
Yeah, so I knew, like, the team, like, just about the team. I knew it was a really winning program. I knew of Langer. I knew that he was, like, the most winning coach. You know, he is the most winning coach in the league's history. So right away when I got the phone call, I was super excited to get over here and be under a coach like him. You know, so I've already learned a ton, and I've only been here for 2 weeks. So I'm excited for what the rest of the year has to bring.
Awesome. And now that you've had a couple home games under your belt, what has the experience been like for you to be able to play here at the Odde?
It's unreal. I love the atmosphere that the fans bring. You know, like a big hit happens and everybody goes crazy. Like the goal horn is super sick. Like walking out to like all the music and coming out of a tunnel. Like it's just something like I've never experienced, and I'm super grateful, and it's unreal like that I get to do all this. So.
And being out within the community too, you got to go out to one of the elementary schools last week. What has that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean it's all new. Like just having a community like here in Aberdeen is super sweet. Like everybody like loves the hockey team, and like we all love the fans, so it's like a mutual connection, and like it's just super sweet. It's super fun. Love it.
Awesome. So to get to know you just a little bit more, is there a go-to coffee order for you?
I don't drink coffee.
At all?
No, I don't drink coffee. I've only had coffee like twice, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's no like energy drink, anything like that either?
No.
Just like
I'm a
water?
caffeine guy, yeah. Kind of just music, and that's about it, yeah.
All right. Well, if you were stuck in an elevator,
Okay.
who on the team would you want to be stuck with? And who would you absolutely never want to be stuck in an elevator with?
Oh, jeez. Who I'd like to be stuck with? I'll say Tish. I feel like Tish he's pretty funny. He'd lighten up the mood for sure. Like, if we're all freaking out, I'd be like, no, we're good. We're good.
Keep you entertained for as long as it would take.
Yeah, he'd be a good guy to get stuck with. What I want to get stuck with? I don't know. I don't want to call anybody out.
This is the moment where you have to call it out.
I might just say, I'm just going to say Nick Comfort just because I live with him. So, like, I can get away with saying that.
All right. We'll ease you on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Hypothetically speaking, today you win the lottery. Okay. Do you tell people or do you move away and not tell anybody?
Well, obviously, I'd tell my parents, but I'm not just going to go disappear and move to across.
That one's okay. That one's okay.
But, yeah, I'd probably keep it pretty low-key. I'd definitely tell my family, and that's probably about it. And then slowly start telling, like, my closest friends. But other than that, no.
You don't want randos coming up to you and just starting acting like your friends to, like
I
want your
wouldn't be
money.
the type of person to, like, go buy, like, super fancy cars. Like, I'd be smart with the money. So I wouldn't be all flashy with it. So people probably wouldn't really know I want it.
There you go.
That's just me.
There you go. And then, being that the Grammys were last night, did you tune into any of that at all, or see it on like Twitter or anything like that?
The Grammys?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Do you know what the Grammys are? Maybe you should.
Like the music awards.
Okay, perfect. Who in this room do you think could win a Grammy?
I haven't heard anybody sing, so I don't know.
Well, there's like producers and like, you know, any sort of like artist.
I'm gonna say Orr because he's really good at playing the guitar and electric guitar.
Okay.
So I feel like he'd have the best shot
All right.
at anything. So.
And then, is there any secret talents that you have that you would like to share with?
A secret talent? Not that I can think of. I don't know. I feel like I have one, but like I can't remember. If it comes back to me, I'll be sure to say it.
Okay. Now, looking back on this weekend, obviously dropping both to Austin, but for sure not without effort, right? The first game on Friday, 3-1, but one of them being an empty netter. Jibber Cool putting us on in the second. Plenty of grade A opportunities, though. Is there any positives from Friday that you can think of?
Yeah, I thought the boys, we worked super hard. You know, we stayed pretty positive throughout the entire game. Like, we knew that we were going to get a goal at some point. Like, we outshot them. I thought we outplayed them. We beat them in pretty much every aspect of the game, I feel like. You know, their goalie, we just ran into a hot goalie, and we couldn't bury the chances that we were given. So, I mean, that part's pretty frustrating. But, you know, I know every guy in this room is looking forward to Bismarck because, you know, those are must-win games at this point. So I'm definitely excited for the upcoming weekend because, I mean, you can only look forward on it. So Bismarck is what everybody's excited for.
Mm-hmm. And with Saturday, too, a 1-0 game, I mean, and it almost seemed like every shot was hitting a post or a crossbar. You know what I mean? It was like, it was pinging every time.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And all the fans were on their feet like every single time. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you can't get deflated after something like that.
No, I mean, the fans definitely, they bring an aspect that, you know, the players can't really. Like, you just have a whole atmosphere. Like, they're like the backbone of the team. So, you know, when you get the fans getting involved, and it gets the whole bench involved. And, I mean, we just kept getting chances, and it sucked that we couldn't bury one because, I mean, we were one shot away from tying the game and winning it in overtime. But, yeah, you kind of just have to soak it, learn from it, move on, and take what you learned into the next week, which is Bismarck. So.
And something that Aaron and Coach Langer brought up in the first half too, I'm not sure if you overheard it, anything at all, was the mental aspect of the game too, where on Friday of last weekend when you guys were in Austin was the mental aspect of the game, where it seemed like the team wasn't, you know, gripping the sticks too tight or anything like that. Everyone seemed super loose. Do you think that's something important that the team should bring into playing Bismarck, especially since we have them at home? And how do you think the team can incorporate something like that into these games?
Like playing loose, something that we should bring in? Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that our team could do at this point is start to panic and realize, okay, like, we only have 1 point above St. Cloud. Like, we have a really, really good hockey team. Like, the guys in this room are really, really good players. We just kind of need, I don't know, we're just kind of in a skid, and, you know, we're going to get out of it this weekend. I'm confident that we're going to get out of it this weekend. We're going to get some points this weekend. So, yeah, like, play loose, just play hockey. Like, it's just a game we've been playing since we were little. Like, just go out and play hockey. You don't need to change anything like that. It's just, I don't even know how to, like, explain it. Like, just go play hockey. Just go have fun, put a smile on your face, and you'll start winning hockey games.
I think the important part too is like not stressing so much about the future, but winning the day, right? I think that's
absolutely,
that's kind of something that everyone talks about every day when we come in here. Is just like not but just like what it looks like today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we have next week, we have this weekend against Bismarck. That's where all of our eyes are at. We're not looking ahead to Watertown, or I don't even know any of the games past that, but, you know, we're focused on Bismarck. We're focused on getting points that week, and then we'll move on to the next week and the next week. So eventually the wins will start to snowball, and we'll get on a win streak soon. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. Speaking of which, the next home games versus Bismarck, Friday and Saturday, February 7th and 8th. Friday the 7th is National Wear Red Day for American Heart Month. Corporate game sponsor is American Fire Rescue's A-Shift. Saturday the 8th is First Responders Night. All first responders will receive $2 off admission at the door with ID. Corporate game sponsor is Star Iron Bank. Aberdeen Cougars 8U teams will skate first intermission, and there's a post-game party with the team at City Lights Bar and Event Center. Upcoming games are February 14th at Watertown Shamrocks, that's at Prairie Lakes Ice Center, and February 15th versus the Watertown Shamrocks here at the Odde Ice Center. Tickets available for all Wings home games at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or at any of the Sea Express locations here in Aberdeen. And prorated sponsorships and reserve season tickets are still available for the remainder of the 2024-2025 season. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, Charlie Burchfield, thank you so much for joining us on this week's Wings Weekly.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, and that'll wrap up.